What's your best defense against despair?
This is easy. It's being around kids, being around young people. That's why most of my initiatives in the White House involved young people. And I'd be having a bad day, and I'd talk to my team, and I'd be like, ugh, get me to some kids now, stat, you know. So one of the things we used to do was to make these surprise visits to high schools in the area. And my goal was to get to every high school. But it was like, we're not going to make it a big deal. We don't want kids fighting over who's coming. We don't want to shut down the school and all this. So if it's an OTR and off the record, you could pretty much do that. But it's still the First Lady and the presidential motorcade. So we would always hook in the Secretary of Education, whether it was whoever it was at the time. We had a couple who would go in as sort of the ruse of, we're here to announce a policy, and the kids would be there. And then I'd come in. And they'd just be like, what? No media, no everything. And then we'd just talk, right? We talk about life. First, we'd have to get them to stop crying and stop screaming, you know, and that took a while because we would try to do these things in an hour. And I was like, these kids aren't going to settle down. This is too much of a shock. So we need to make the time limitless, until they can calm down enough. Because, like, kids, once they calm down and see that you're real, you know, and it's like, and I'm just like this, you know, then they start asking real questions. But it takes a minute. Those would be some of my best days, you know, of just like, give me to a school.
So what do you do now? Because there's a lot of
despair.
Despair. You're
Despair.
just like, give me to a kid.
Give me to
girls?
a kid. Yeah.
What do you do?
It's sprinkled throughout my life still. You know, when I did my book tours and we did book stops, we always went into the community. So every city I would go to, I would, you know, stop by a school or with a leadership group of some sort or at a college or what have you. So we try to filter it in. But kids give me hope, and they remind me of the fact that we don't have the luxury of despair as adults, you know, because when you despair, you stop acting. It sort of gives you the excuse to just give up and be in your despair. And we can't afford that because when we aren't acting, doing our part, mentoring, voting, you know, doing whatever we can, caring, not being complacent or apathetic or so disappointed that I just can't be bothered. We are
Apathy.
wasting.
It's dangerous.
Apathy is dangerous, and it's dangerous for our kids because they can't act. They don't have a vote. They can't change anything. They live in the country we create for them.
But it also sounds like, in a very granular way, when you, Michelle Obama, wake up and it's feeling too much and something happens and despair sets in, your go-to is to act.
Yeah. And if it's with kids, or maybe it's just a workout, maybe it's moving, you know, but sitting still for me is it is the opposite of combating despair, sitting in it, thinking too much about it. Stewing in it. But moving and doing something, you know, that's why it's like the key to depression for me, if it's not clinical, the first step is just get out of bed, get up and connect to people, right? You know, we aren't built to do this life alone, and we need to be around each other to be reminded of who we are and why we exist. And we do not exist for ourselves because we can't survive on our own. We are, as a human species, we're pretty weak. You know, we don't do well in the sun. We don't have fur. Our teeth don't do anything. We have no claws. I mean,
Camping's very difficult for me,
Camping is difficult for most people. You know, I mean, I love those nature shows. The Alaskan bush people. I'm like, you are going to be
just watch
good.
that with popcorn. You just
But
watch that
most
from your
of
living
us,
room.
we'd be dead in an hour. You know, we need community.